talked to about God. I was taught about God. I heard them sing about God. I heard them preach about God. I believed that there was a God, but I didn't believe God. I don't know if that makes sense. You can believe in God, but do you believe God? I believe Jesus exists, but do I believe in His ability? Okay, is He real to me? And so you have to come to this place in your life where you have an internal experience with God.
Yes, sir.
What I'm saying is your parents bring you to church, your grandparents or whoever, they can instill this in you and teach you about God. But you yourself have to have your own experience. And most of the time when you're young, if you haven't really been through anything, you think that, well, what do I need God for? What do I need to pray for? Because, I'm not really experiencing bills. I'm not experiencing, no loss of no job or no heartache or no nothing hard like a grown-up would. Okay? Well, the fact that you are still here, the fact that there were things that you have been involved with that you knew you weren't supposed to be involved with, and God kept you. And He let you see another day, another opportunity to come back to this house again. God is real in your life. Just because you don't get goosebumps and speak in tongue and fall on the floor don't mean that He's not in your life. Amen? So my question is, do you believe? Do you really believe? Let's look at the story. Because we had someone here who walked with Jesus. Thomas walked with Jesus for 3 years. He watched Him do miracles. He watched Him raise the dead. He watched Him do all this stuff. But yet when it come down to Jesus, He said that I was going to die and I was going to be raised up again the third day. Now you seen Him do everything else, but then you don't believe the last word He told you. Now watch this. This is the story. This is the story. Jesus came in the room with the disciples. He was like, just bam, he was just right there, because they said the doors were locked. So He just showed up. Okay? He just showed up. And then He said, peace be unto you. And then they rejoiced because He was there. And then he breathed on them. He gave them the Holy Spirit, right? And then He commanded them to go and forgive your sins, and they will be forgiven them. In other words, He gave them an assignment, and He empowered them to do it. Now, Thomas was not there. Thomas missed out.
Yes, he did.
Thomas missed out. And a lot of people say they call him Doubting Thomas. They call him Doubting Thomas. Now check this out. Wait a minute. Why would they call him Doubting Thomas? Is this the only time Thomas doubted? No, I think there was a couple other times. I think it was one other time. I'm not sure. But this is what I'm trying to say. He is being preached years later, thousands of years later, and they still call him Doubting Thomas. This is why you got to watch how you carry yourself. Because people will label you off the one mistake that you made and hold on you for the rest of your life. That's why you got to watch and you got to stay close. The Bible says you have to be wise and be discreet. You don't let everybody know your business. Don't let everybody know your weakness. You take it to God. Thomas. He missed out. He wasn't there. And then not only that, you know how you ever missed a good party or something? And you wanted to be there, but you missed it for some reason. And don't you think you used to hate when people come and say, man, you sure should have been there, man. Man, we partied, man, we did this and we did that. You're like, shut up. I ain't want to hear that. You know what I'm saying? But imagine the feeling of Thomas and the disciples are saying, man, you should have came. Jesus was here. He did what He said He was going to do. He showed up.
Yes, sir.
He showed up.
Yes, sir.
And Thomas really, he was hating. I'm going to just say it, he was hating. He said, unless I see Him show up right now for me, I don't know what y'all talking about. He ain't show up for me. So what if He showed up for y'all? And that's how we get selfish sometimes. We get selfish. Just because somebody else get their blessing, we say, oh, the Lord for my blessing. But this is the good news. This is the good part about it. Because Jesus heard him. He wasn't even talking to Jesus. He said, unless I see Him show up and I put my hand in His ribs and I see the blood and I see the bones sticking out or whatever from when they beat Him, unless I see that, I ain't going to believe Him. And so all of a sudden, poof, Jesus just popped up in the room. I heard you was talking about me. Give me your hand. Put it right here. Let me show you my head. Let me show you my blood. And He did that, and he couldn't do nothing but acknowledge Him. And start, listen, when God make himself real in your life, when God shows up in your life, you can't do nothing but give him the glory. You can't do nothing but give him the praise. You can't do nothing but honor him. And say, yes, I believe. He showed up. He showed up. He showed up. And it shows you how much of a caring God that we serve. See, you can be off in your room by yourself, going through anything, depression, going through anger, or whatever you dealing with, and you can't even tell your parents, or you don't want to tell nobody else, but God knows. And listen, God is such a good God, he'll show up.